Hi, folks. Welcome to this week's Oh, must be a mistake on it. So put that down there. Hi, folks. Welcome to this webinar. Um, the theme this week is something that I find really takes the pressure off people and can do so in quite a major way. And I've called it "You Don't Need to Stay on Track." Now, I know uh, this can sound slightly rebellious, and for those of you that know me, wouldn't be surprised by that. Um, because what we've been taught at school is that uh, staying on track is the way. In fact, we're taught that in business, we're taught that in everything. Get back on track, get back on track. Um, and we're taught it, you set your goals. You take action, you measure the progress, everything moves in a straight line. You begin in a place and you end in another place. And, to be perfectly honest, that's exactly what I used to coach, whether that was coaching executives in their work situations or I was coaching personal trainers to work with people on weight loss programs, this kind of stuff. It was always there's a beginning, there's an end, and it's kind of linear. And if it's not linear, you're off track, get back on track. So, things like everything specific, like lose 2 pounds a week, a kilogram a week. If you miss a workout, get back on. Tick all the workout boxes as you go through these things. So you're continually measuring stuff. But real transformation, the kind that lasts, I use the term all the time really about what I'm interested in is not a result, but sustained results. Um, and what I found is that this linear way that we tend to work or see things doesn't work in the long term. It rarely works for people in the long term because change is not about a straight line. It's more like a winding path where you are falling off track, you're looping back on yourself, you're stopping. There's times when you actually proactively need to do that. Stop, take a breather, and not move. So that's what we're going to explore in this webinar. How to stop fighting the natural rhythm of growth and instead starting to trust. And that's really important. So I'm going to keep coming back to that in the webinar, trust. And the first question, of course, comes up is trust what? And I'll be explaining more about that in a moment. So, so the key insight from this small talk is that linear progress is a myth, and it's a myth that can actually have quite serious limitations because it can breed self-doubt. It can get you to question yourself. So one of the reasons people really struggle on any kind of health journey, weight loss journey, is because they have this expectation that everything is going to happen in a linear way. And me included, coaches are at fault for this because we often picture the graph showing things neatly going down, neatly losing weight. And that's projecting this idea that everything is going to be constant. The motivation is going to be constant, the improvement's going to be constant, the results are going to be constant. You're going to see this. So when it doesn't happen like that, which it won't, when life gets busy and motivation falls off, progress slows, the mind starts whispering, you've fallen off track, you've blown it, I need to start again. All those kind of things that they're jabbing away in the mind. Now the thing is, You don't need to get back on track because you never were on track. There's no such thing. Every experiences, which includes the pauses, the doubts, the detours, are all part of the journey. They're meant to be. They're in there. There's no linear path. Look at nature. You don't see the linear paths. In nature, they're all winding. They loop back on themselves. So the key is you're still learning, you're still engaging, you're still growing. And sometimes you might find the biggest progress is happening when you can't see it. Now, that in itself sounds weird because, surely when you're in action, that's when you're making progress. Not true. You see, you're learning deep within you through insights. Look at a child. A child doesn't know what's really going on. They're not aware of that, but there's tons and tons of stuff going on. They're learning and growing. Another element of this is the idea that you're going to go on this streak of perfection. You're going to build perfection, but we're not really into perfection. Perfection truly doesn't exist. Again, in nature, it doesn't exist. What we're doing is we're really building trust. So for those of you that are, doing the LightMinds program at the moment, we don't celebrate the perfect streaks. Um, because if you do, you're only setting people up to feel like failures when things don't go wrong in a day. And they won't work out perfectly. That's not really what we're looking for. Well done if you're doing well. But the thing for me that's more important is to begin to celebrate trust, trust in yourself, trust that you'll show up, um, trust that when you wobble, it's not defining you. Trust that you can pause, you can breathe, you can reset, you can go again. Trust in that. That's all inside you to do these things. Mentioning children, think of it this way. If you were teaching a child to walk and they fell, you wouldn't say, "You're off track, son." You'd smile, you'd encourage, you'd pick them up. And that's how growth works. And it's exactly the same for you. You don't need to stay on track. You just need to stay connected. And connected to what? Connected to your intention, connected to your awareness of you're experiencing, what is going on for you. That's by far the greatest thing uh, that will help you to be successful in your journey. You've got an intention, you're taking action, what's going on? There's an element of that as well. It's connected to your humanity, what is inside you. So, so if it's not a linear pattern, if it's not a straight line, uh, how else can you look at it? Well, one way that I was shown, which I found really interesting, this was in coaching, is that it's more like a spiral. So picture your journey or picture growth as a spiral, a staircase, which is winding up all the time. Now, you might think you're coming back to the same problems, challenges, obstacles time and again. And these could be your food choices, they could be your motivation, they could be um, how you criticize yourself, working out, anything like that. But change that because each time you come back to them, each time you meet them again, you're meeting them as a different person because the first time you met them, you were a certain way. Now, in that experience itself, things have changed. You are fluid, you're not fixed. So when you see that problem again, that obstacle, you're seeing it from a different place. And you can look at that as a higher loop. well, actually, that's not the right term. It's not a loop. The higher, it's a spiral. So the spiral's looped up. It's not looping round and round and round. It's spiraling upwards. So you might find yourself revisiting familiar themes, but each time you do, you visit them with more insight. You've got more wisdom than you had before. You're never the same. That's one of the reasons why I say to people, repeat the program, repeat the program. And they go, well, I've already got that. And they're making a mistake because when they see what they're seeing is the program is information, but the program is not just information. It's actually something is happening each time you go to the videos, each time you write something in the workbook, you change. So even if it looks like you're going around in circles, those circles are actually rising. And so when you see it that way, the pressure melts away. You stop thinking I'm back where I was and start realizing, I'm seeing this from a different place, from a new angle. And that's really, really important. So think about a time, you don't have to do it now, but um, perhaps after the video, but any time, just do it. Think about a time when you felt like you'd fallen behind. It could have been this morning, it could be last week. And consider behind what? So I've fallen behind. What have I fallen behind? Have you fallen behind a schedule? Or are you trying to lose weight with somebody else, a buddy, and you've fallen behind them? Have you fallen behind an expectation that you should be a certain place at a certain time? Because the truth is, there is no timeline. There's only the next step. Journeys are taken one step at a time. There's only the next step you can take, and you're already doing that. Simply by showing up, simply by watching this, you're taking the next step. That's all you need to do. And it doesn't matter if that step, you have an expectation of how that should be and it doesn't work out that way. That doesn't matter because you took the step. And in taking the step, that's the learning. Even if you're not aware of the learning, your mind is so powerful, it's taking on board stuff. As long as you're taking steps. Now, saying that, there could be a time when you go, I'm not taking step. I'm going to just pause for a bit. That's the step. Because stuff will be taking place then as well. You'll be learning then. So when thought comes up like, I'm off track, I should be doing better than this, I should be further ahead, this person's doing better than me, I should be able to catch them up. That's when the pause comes in. You just breathe. You just rest, breathe. Say to yourself, you're still on path. It's just a bit of winding today. Just a bit of winding. And that can help you to reset. Now, one of the most powerful things about LightMinds for me, which is really underutilized, is when you realize you're not the only one that feels this way. This is universal. This is everybody. And it's not just about weight loss or anything like that. It's everything. Everything that we try to change, we experience as human beings the same things. So try not to see yourself in isolation. We've all gone through times where things have felt messy, slow, inconsistent. Everybody does that. That's human nature. So if you ever catch yourself doing that, you might just want to go into the Facebook group and share it. And this is where I talk about it, and I'm pretty certain I talk about the course as well. You're dropping a mask, you're letting a mask float away, which is a pretense that everything's okay and I'm really good. It's false. Again, that's human nature. That's what we do. But when you go, actually, no, I'm stuck here. This is what I'm seeing. This is what I'm challenging me. By letting it out there into the world, accepting it can be very challenging for you. It's very helpful because you're being authentic. And remember, no one's walking a straight line. Now, some people, and they do it occasionally on the Facebook group as well, they come in, oh, I did this and I learned that, and you might get the impression, and sometimes they get it's kind of you want to move away from that because you go, oh shit, that's not what I'm experiencing. I'm experiencing this. Um, but it doesn't matter. That's just their journey. You put your stuff there. Um, we're all learning to trust. We're all trusting. Um, and trying to build our trust up in ourselves that we have everything we need in ourselves. So, so to finish off, you don't need to stay on track. You just need to show up. You just need to take action in whatever way you can. Whatever your energy's like, do what you can. And that can mean like preparing a balanced meal, taking a drink of water, really simple things. It's those small things, time after time after time, that builds transformation. And it's not about perfection, but about presence, being present, doing something. And remember, every time you return, every time you come back, you strengthen that muscle of trust a bit more. And that's all you ever need to do. Just keep turning up, taking action, taking steps. You'll be surprised where you get to. Thanks very much.